Hi, everyone. Today is the official start of my year-long journey to improve my health, weight, and fitness. My name is John. I'm 56 years old, and I have health problems, many of which are my own fault, although one showed up for its own reasons. I currently weigh 318 pounds. I am a type 2 diabetic. I have high blood pressure. I've also got the bad knees typical of a heavy man. Additionally, I have a partially collapsed right lung and spend way too much of my time coughing up gunk. The big final issue is that in 2022, I was diagnosed with a cancerous tumor on my right kidney. At the time, the doctors weren't sure if it was also in my lungs, bones, and lymph nodes. It took a few months of poking, prodding, and taking biopsies, but they finally determined it was just the kidney. The tumor was removed on the last day of February 2023. They didn't need to take the whole kidney, luckily. They performed what is called a partial nephrectomy and sewed up the rest of the kidney. Every 4 months or so, I go in for a fresh CAT scan and MRI to see how I'm doing. So far, there's been no reoccurrence of the cancer, and the kidney is functioning without issue. That's good news. Recovery, however, wasn't straightforward. It took weeks to get back to where I could even fake being normal. It took months before I started actually feeling like myself physically and emotionally. During the time, my other health issues got worse because I wasn't taking care of myself as well as I should. I was overwhelmed with just getting through the day. It wasn't until November of 2023 that I finally started feeling somewhat like myself. And that was when I began to take my health more seriously. In October, when I went to the doctor, I was 334 pounds. As of today, I am 318. So I've already been making progress. However, I wanted to commit more formally to my goals for the new year. My goal for the year is to get down to 250 pounds. 250 pounds is still a ways from my ideal weight, but it will be a lot closer. And I know fixing my body is more than a 1 year task. To help me reach my goals, I'll make daily videos to track my progress and discuss the issues I encounter. I'm making videos for a couple reasons. The biggest one is to hold myself accountable. If I know I have to get on the screen and discuss how I am doing, I believe it will keep me on track. Also, I just wanted to make videos again, and this is a topic I need to focus on. The main goal of the videos is to discuss where I'm at on the day, both emotionally and with candid numbers that show whether or not I'm making progress. Because today is the first day of the year, I'll give a little bit more detail about what I'm going to do than I'm going to give daily, but I'll update these numbers when appropriate. The first number is weight. That's a significant number and central to the goals. This morning, I weighed in at 318 pounds. This is my home scale and will be good enough for the journey. I've compared it with the doctor's scale, and I think they're pretty close. The next number is blood pressure. My last reading at my PCP in early December was 132/82. I take blood pressure medicine to help with this, or it would be even higher. Another condition I have is calcification around my heart, so keeping my blood pressure low is a priority. I don't have a specific goal here, but I hope to see it improve as I get more fit. My BMI as of the last doctor's appointment was 43.14. I'm not a big fan of BMI, but as with any number, it's suitable for tracking. I'm only going to report this after doctor's appointments, though. Luckily, there's always plenty of those. I prefer to track my body fat using measurements. As of last week, my key measurements are 19 inches at the neck, 56 inches at the waist, and 47 inches at the hips. Using those numbers with my weight and height gives me a fat percentage of 39.7. My fat mass is 127.6 pounds. My lean mass is 193.4. To reach my New Year's 2025 goal of 250 pounds, I need to lose 68 pounds of fat while maintaining my muscle tone. For any additional pound of muscle I gain, I need to lose another pound of fat. It's a big challenge. I want to put a few other numbers out there to track them as we go. According to my Apple Watch, my resting heart rate has averaged 70 over the past month, with my walking average at 107. These are best to measure as an average because the numbers fluctuate daily. My highest resting average in December was on December 16th at 78 beats a minute, and my lowest was yesterday at 64 beats a minute. With that kind of variability, it's probably best to track as a weekly average. I want to round out my statistics with a few medical numbers that will be important to track. My last A1C was in October. I'll be getting a new one soon, but that one was at 7.7, which isn't the worst I've had, but it's still pretty bad. My last glucose check was on December 20th. It wasn't a fasting check, but it was still pretty terrible at 329. Those numbers need to come way down. Arguably, my blood sugar numbers are my greatest motivation for getting in shape. Oddly, my sodium was low at 133 on the same day. I find this interesting because I have become somewhat salt averse over the past few months. I never had a problem with the taste of salty foods, but about 4 months ago, I started to notice some foods tasted too salty. Now my consumption of it is low enough that it counts as low on my tests. Another concerning number is 0.73 on my creatine, which is just a fraction below the green zone, just a little bit of a yellow flag. I've also been low on my vitamin D, and I'm taking supplements for that. One final number is my RBC, or red blood cell distribution width. This number is currently 14.6, which registers as high. It has been high on every test I've had since my cancer diagnosis. It can be a sign of anemia or that my body is still fighting something even if there's no cancer. I don't know what can be done about that number, but we'll see how it varies over time. That's it for the relevant health numbers I'll be keeping track of. Obviously, I won't be reporting on every number every day. I'll keep a daily weigh-in just to get an idea of where I'm at there, even though I know weight can fluctuate. I'll also be tracking my active calories daily. I have a blood sugar monitor, and if I can get in the habit, I'll start doing a morning blood sugar check. On the other items, I'll check some numbers weekly or monthly, and of course, the medical ones will come whenever I get them from my doctors. Now is a good time to discuss how I plan to lose the weight. First, I should disclose that I'm taking Ozempic. Ozempic is a drug that treats diabetes, but also works as an appetite suppressant by slowing down my digestion of food, and this helps me lose weight. I've been on it for about a month now, and I am slowly ramping up the dosage. I wish I could say my appetite just disappeared, but so far, no. I feel full a little earlier for a little longer than before, so it is helping, but there was no magical off switch to my appetite, at least not so far. I have no formal plans for a strict diet. My goal is to make intelligent eating choices. I avoid sugar when I have the willpower to, and I'm cutting down on some of the higher calorie favorites, such as peanut butter. My approach is to limit my calorie intake to about 2,500 on most days, recognizing the occasional dinner out will sometimes put me over. For a man of my size, 2,500 is a good starting point if I choose healthy foods. My primary effort is going into exercise. I have a stationary bike, and I use it daily. So I'm slowly working my way up in difficulty. I also have dumbbells, which I've not been using yet, but plan to work into my routine. I recently got a gym membership. I live too far away from any gym to make it a daily habit, but I want to go there a couple days a week to vary my exercise. I want to avoid getting bored. I also want to make sure I'm using parts of my body that may not get covered with the exercise bike and the dumbbells. I also plan on increasing my walking. The goal is to have a core routine I can break up on some days. I measure my exercise with my Apple Watch, and my current goal is to average 1,000 active calories a day and work my way up from there. Because I do a lot of work on a stationary bike, I'm not going to attempt to do 10,000 steps a day, the way people talk about, but I am going to aim for about 4,000 just to make sure I'm walking. Additionally, I want to work on some stretching. I'm not very flexible right now, and I hate that. I'm sure some of these aspects are going to change as I move along. A lot can change in a year. Finally, I want to talk about my goals for the videos. I intend to make a video daily, with most videos being about 3 to 4 minutes, and one a week probably being a bit longer. I'm sure I'll miss days along the way, so I aim to make 300 videos this year, most devoted to my health journey. This is intended for full-fledged videos. I may make some shorts along the way, but they won't count towards the 300 video goal. I also wanted to set a goal for the YouTube channel. This isn't a primary concern, but I feel like I should have one, and it's a simple one. The goal is to get to monetization, which means 1,000 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. As we start this year, I have 692 subscribers and 550 watch hours. Watch hours is a rolling number, so it'll take time to build. Considering that I made 0 videos between January and November, I'm at a good place to start from. The health videos are not like anything I had on the channel before, though, and it isn't flashy content, so I know it'll take some time to get a following. I once built a blog with 3 million hits a year, though, before I let it go, so I know the progress you can make with steady posting. I'll obviously be talking about my health and daily progress on the channel. That's job one. Still, as we move forward, I may work in some other things into my content, either as part of the health journey videos or as separate content. I do a lot of writing. I hope some of that makes its way to the channel. Beyond tracking my health journey, I want to improve at making videos. This partly depends on my health. While I intend to get healthy this year as a cancer survivor, I know the chances are higher than the average person that I'm going to get it again. And I know that I am still going to have my good days and bad days no matter what. The healthier I feel and the stronger I get, the more likely I am to have the energy to do more than just follow my fitness journey. I hope that by the end of 2024, you'll see a personal improvement and better videos. As you may or may not be able to tell, I write and read a script. I think I do a pretty good job of that, but I hope to get much better as I get used to making videos. I also hope to mix things up and add a few elements behind me just staring at the screen. That's it for my New Year's Day video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you join me on my journey by subscribing. Have a great day and a great new year. Meanwhile, enjoy this before video of me doing the traditional twirl in a too tight t-shirt. Have a great day.